Hello, I'm Jez Frampton, Global Chief Executive of Interbrand. Here we are, it's time for Best Global Green Brands 2013. We're very lucky to have with us today Andy Palmer, Executive Vice President of Product and Marketing at Nissan. Andy, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, Jez.
Fantastic performance this year. You're the highest riser on the table.
Yes, obviously a lot of work gone in, and I would say it's the fruition of work not only on performance but also on perception, and really pleased for the team that have put many man hours into making sure that Nissan is both on the performance scale among the highest, but also communicating and doing something for Japanese companies that is often quite difficult, which is disclosure.
I know you've done a lot this year because you were one of the companies that actually got in touch with Deloitte following the table and spent some time. So you've obviously got better at disclosing, but this is part of a bigger story within Nissan as well, isn't it? How do you see the Nissan brand in context of being sustainable, being green, and being a good corporate citizen around the world?
Well, yes, and we always have to remind ourselves that we're talking here about Nissan Motor Company, which of course also has within it the Nissan brand. As Nissan Motor Company, our mantra is enriching people's lives, and we basically divide our strategy for the corporation into zero emissions, zero fatalities, and philanthropy. So obviously, when we look at this, zero emissions, which again I reiterate is not only about CO2 into the future, but also about the air that we breathe today. Basically, of course, we have to be at the top of the list from a performance point of view, because that's our corporate mantra.
Yeah, it is quite interesting though, isn't it, that you've got automobile companies all doing well on that list effectively, and Ford did a good job this year as well. Is there there's something almost strange about it, isn't there? Because I think, on one hand we associate, very heavy manufacturing processes, lots of use of water, you've got emissions control to deal with, you've got all the different resources that you use to actually build the cars. And then of course, in the way that we look at things, it's actually how you look at the cars afterwards as well, and the lifetime effect upon the environment. It's a very complex industry, and yet you guys are all really doing well. What do you think other businesses can learn from what you're doing at Nissan?
Yeah, I suppose it's a bit like being a reformed smoker, isn't it? You become an advocacy of green. But I think what's important is that what we see is when you offer a customer a car that is equal in terms of performance and price, but you give them the option of green or not so green, the customer will always tend towards green. So it's a way for the car companies to demonstrate competitive advantage. So I'd love to say it's all about CSR, but the actual point of view is it helps raise our brand. Leaf has done tremendous things for our brand, and when you give the option of the companies in front of you, and one is greener than the other, then the customers will tend towards buying the green ones. So I think it's a competitive edge. We've seen it recently with the takeoff of Leaf sales. When we were through the localization and the cost reductions, we were able to reprice position Leaf. Suddenly monthly sales have really taken off.
So there is definitely good business in being good. So this has a benefit to your company in terms of its sales revenues, its customer loyalty, and as you say, the strength of its brand. It's not just something which is just a nice thing to do, it's an essential thing to do.